Okay.
Next talk will be given by Simon Banville on PPP-AR working group. Please, Simon.
Okay, that's coming. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
And there you go. Okay, I'm Simon Benville from NRCan. I'm the chair of the IGS PPP-AR working group, which was established in 2018. Change slide. Okay. So it was established in 2018 in the IGS workshop in Wuhan, and already back then there was a few analysis centers of the IGS that were contributing satellite clock corrections and biases that would allow for ambiguity resolution at the user end. But the IGS combined clocks discarded these corrections so that users couldn't do PPP-AR solutions with the IGS combined products. And because of that, the PPP-AR working group and its purpose, the PPP-AR working group was created, and its purpose was to analyze the feasibility and benefits of having the IGS adopt a modernized combination process that's considering the consistency of the satellite clock and bias products. And more specifically, the goals were to verify the interoperability of the clock and bias products generated by the analysis centers. And once that was confirmed, to initiate a pilot project to expose the combined solution to open testing. Now, there hasn't really been a pilot project per se, but we've been using the Repro 3 campaign as an opportunity to generate combined products over a long period of time. There's been a lot of progress since the last AM meeting. First, we demonstrated the interoperability of the GPS clock and bias products using products from 6 analysis centers. And the results from this analysis and the methodology used to combine the products were presented in a paper in the Journal of Geodesy. Then we encouraged the exchange of satellite attitude information among analysis centers based on quaternions, which improves the data processing consistency. And there's 7 analysis centers in Repro 3 that contributed the satellite attitude information. So we did an analysis of this data, and the results were presented in a paper published in Advances in Space Research. Now, it's not really possible to combine satellite attitude information from different analysis centers. So we kind of need to come up with a reference attitude that will be provided with the combined clocks and bias products. And for this purpose, we've been using the open source software called Groups. It was developed at the Technical University of Graz. And the satellite attitude models that were implemented in the software were described in a presentation at the last EGU meeting. I encourage you to go check that presentation and have a look at the open source code, which is very useful. We've also proposed a new convention for bias interoperability with regards to phase center offsets in the process of doing the Repro 3 combination. We noticed that there were some discrepancies between the biases, such as DCBs and the wide length biases of some analysis centers. And we realized that these discrepancies were caused by whether or not the analysis centers applied phase center offset corrections when computing the biases. So we had a meeting to discuss this issue, and it was decided that the best way forward would be to, for analysis centers and users to apply the phase center offset corrections when computing the biases. So this new convention should be adopted at the same time as the Repro 3 standards, which currently I think are planned for around the summer of 2022. If you want more information on this discussion, you can refer to the IGS mail that's referenced on the screen. We're also in the process of generating the combined multi-GNSS clock and bias corrections for Repro 3. This task is performed by Professor Gang and his team at Wuhan University. Looks like for Repro 3, we'll have combine products that will allow PPP-AR for both GPS and Galileo. And also for the first time, we'll be trying to do a combination for the GLONASS clocks. I mean, I think it should still be considered as an experimental feature, but at least people will be able to test the combination. We've also made some recent updates to the working group webpage. Among the interesting features, there's a link to all the products that users can use currently to do PPP-AR. I think that can be useful for the IGS community in general. And in terms of outreach and engagement, we're trying to promote the development of PPP algorithms, a special issue in the remote sensing journal. So I invite you to go check the papers that have already been published, and if you still have some work that's close to being publication ready, the deadline is still the deadline is December 31st, so you still have time to submit that paper. And in terms of future work, well, we're working hard to produce and validate the Repro 3 multi-GNSS clock and bias combined products, which hopefully will be done by the 2022 workshop in Boulder. And then when the Repro 3 standards are adopted for the operational products, then we'll also adopt the new PCO convention regarding the biases that discussed earlier. And we're working hard to try to provide the operational multi-GNSS combined products that would enable PPP-AR. So thank you very much for your attention, and thanks to everybody who contributed to the PPP-AR working group efforts.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you, Simon. Questions to you? I mean, I'm quite impressed. It's a very young working group, and I'm really impressed by all the progress that has been done. Essentially, it's just incredible. Questions to Simon? I don't see any from the chat, but I was just wondering, I mean, yeah, well, you said in your conclusion, so the plan in the future will be to have in the operational product the availability to keep the integer clock property. This is the idea.
That's
so
correct.
I guess you have a connection with Tom and Salim. What will be the tool for that, or is it not yet decided?
Yeah, well, so currently the clock and bias combination for Repro 3 is being done by, as I mentioned, Dr. Gang from Wuhan University. And I think we still need to discuss whether the operational products will be produced using his software or the one that was originally developed at NRCan. I think we'll need to discuss that.
Sure. Thanks again, Simon.